Okay, the Schutzstahhel. The Schutzstahhel, otherwise known as the SS. What is the Schutzstahhel? Try to say that. Schutzstahhel. All right, here we go. Well, first you have to understand what the Nazi Party is. And Adolf Hitler became the leader of a small political organization, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, called the Nazi Party, in 1921, which is almost 100 years ago if you think about it. The group promoted extreme German nationalism, that means love of country, and anti-Semitism, which is hate of Jewish people. So you had to love your country and hate Jewish people, which doesn't sound like a very good combination. So this Nazi party was very dissatisfied with the Treaty of Versailles, which was the 1919 peace settlement that formally ended World War I in 1914 and 1918. This treaty required many concessions from Germany and forced them to pay billions in reparations to the Allied powers. Okay, allies are friends. Billions of dollars, that's like making up for everything that happened with World War II. So German basically got punished in this treaty. They were mad that they had to pay billions of dollars to the other people that helped them, their friends that helped them in the war, World War I. And Hitler blamed Jews and Marxists for Germany's problems and revealed his plan for an Aryan master race. And that's when he tried to make one group of people the same. Well, not really a good idea, but anyway, let's continue on here. Okay, so Hitler's mad about this. He's forming his little party there, and he started this group called the SA, the Sturmbannteilung. He formed his own private army, an assault division. This is like an army, SA for army, whose members were known as stormtroopers, or brown shirts, the color of their uniforms. And by the end of 1921, the SA accompanied Hitler during his public appearances and surrounded him when he made emotional speeches urging violence against Jews and his political opponents. And there he is in a brown suit. Okay, so he had this army around him. So then, here's the SS. Hitler ordered the formation of the Schutzstahhel in 1925. And it was completely separate from, but linked to the SA. The SS was initially made up of 8 individuals, all of whom were assigned to personally guard Hitler and other top Nazis. In 1927, SS members were banned from participating in the political debates and required to profess undying loyalty to Hitler and acknowledge him as their one and only prophet. Now that starts bringing religion into it. They're honoring him basically as a god. That was in 1927. So these people were totally involved with Hitler. So then this guy named Heinrich Himmler. Hitler named Heinrich Himmler as the commander of the SS in 1929. He was a strong anti-Semite like Hitler. He joined the Nazi Party in 1923, eventually serving as Hitler's deputy propaganda chief. He was determined to separate the SS from the SA and transform the SS into an elite force larger than the SA. And I think he's going to succeed at that. Propaganda. That means a deputy propaganda chief. That means he's going to advertise for their own special cause. He's just trying to promote his own cause, which is Nazism, to hate Jews, anti-Semitism. Okay, so that's that first page. Let's go on to the next. Oh, one more thing. Remember, the SA came before the SS, and then Himmler made the SS bigger than the SA. Schutzstahhel. Okay, so with these kind of, these are huge amount of people, and they're trying to make them loyal to each other. Loyalty. The SS evolved under Himmler's guidance into a first-rate paramilitary unit. To qualify for the Schutzstahhel, or the SS, members had to prove none of their ancestors were Jewish, and they could only marry with the approval of the superior officers. So they hated Jewish people, and they had to get their marriages approved by these superior officers. Recruits, those are people who are wanting to join, received military training and were taught that they were the elite of the Nazi Party and all humankind. So they're being taught to think that they are better than everybody else, all other humans. Above all, they pledged allegiance and obligation to the Nazi ideal and placed individual concerns aside. They were required to perform their duties thoroughly as a cohesive unit. The SS motto was, "Loyalty is my honor." All right, so they're loyal, completely loyal to the Nazi ideal, which we know, as we talked before, was anti-Semitism and nationalism. Okay, so I was looking at this little map here, and these are all different sites of concentration camps. And this one right here is the one we're going to talk about. Okay, so growth. The SS grew to include thousands of members and began wearing all black uniforms by 1932. So they're not wearing brown anymore. When Hitler became Germany's chancellor on January 30th, 1933, and now wait a minute, that's getting closer in time, the SS membership had increased to over 50,000. Let's keep that in mind. 50,000. In March of the same year, Himmler announced the opening of the first Nazi concentration camp in Dachau, Germany. The camp initially held political prisoners who opposed the Nazis. So look over here. There's Dachau, Germany. Here's Switzerland and Austria, Czechoslovakia. Okay, so there's Dachau, Germany. Okay, so it's growing. The little group is growing. Himmler was named the head of Germany's secret state police, the Geheime Staatspolizei, more commonly known as the Gestapo. In April 1934, it had been established the previous year to track down and arrest Hitler's challengers. And without the benefit of a trial, these alleged enemies were executed and sent straight to the concentration camps. So, we're growing. Let's see. We're loyal to Hitler. We're growing. We have Gestapo now. Those guys are hunting down people who are against Hitler. So this organization is growing so much that we have to create subdivisions. So 2 significant SS subdivisions were established in the mid-1930s. The SS-VT was a military unit. To be accepted, they had to agree to a 4-year term of service. The second subdivision was known as Death's Head Unit. So we have the SSVT And then we have the Death Heads unit. And it operated the concentration camps. And then the Waffen SS was another unit or subdivision created by Himmler. And they specialized in murdering individuals in territories occupied by the Nazis. And they were involved in the daily operation of Hitler's death camps. So within 6 months of formation, there were 150,000 Waffens. Wow, it's a lot. And some of them were recruited from other nations too, so not just people from Germany. At its height in 1944, that's getting way closer in time, the Secret Service had between 800,000 and 900,000 members. Now, how close in time is this right here, 1944? I'll tell you right now, my dad was born a little bit before that time period. I mean, this is in our life. It occurred in my dad's lifetime. That wasn't that long ago. That's not that long ago. 900,000 members. Thank goodness, though, the Nazi defeat. As the defeat of Nazi Germany seemed increasingly certain in 1945, so that would be the end of World War II, Himmler became the chief organizer of the Volkssturm, or the People's Storm Troop, a unit whose members were the polar opposite of those who qualified for the SS. It consisted of a thrown-together army of teenage boys and elderly men. So these are he's desperate here now. He's trying to survive. And they were given the task of being the last in line of the resistance against the Allies. So he just tried to pull these people together. They're getting defeated. Okay. So then finally Himmler was captured by Allied soldiers as Germany was defeated. So he committed suicide on May 23rd by ingesting cyanide capsule. All right, because he didn't want to go through what these guys are going through. After Himmler died and World War II ended, there was something that was called the Nuremberg trials. So these are the people who kind of put all of these bad guys, these SS, SA people on trial. After World War II, the Nuremberg trials were held from 1945 to 1949. It's 4 years. To punish those who carried out Hitler's plan. It declared the SS a criminal organization because of its direct involvement with committing war atrocities. That means war crimes. Just terrible war crimes. They were terrible people. All these people right here. Terrible. And if you ever go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., you could actually see these people on trial. There's just thousands of them. Killers. Okay, so basically, the Nazi Party formed in these little groups. The Schutzstahhel, the Gestapo were the police, and that's how they kind of organized and became bigger and bigger and bigger, till finally World War II ended, and a lot of them were actually put on trial, the Nuremberg trials. Because they were bad. People started to realize that this is really, really, really bad. Okay, hope you understand that article for your expert sessions. Thank you.